Hola, el día de hoy traigo un libro que se llama Fancy Nancy, My Family History, escrito por Jane O'Connor. Pictures basadas en el arte de Robin Press Glasser. Espero les guste leer este libro conmigo. Y este libro lo estaré leyendo solo en inglés. Fancy Nancy, ¿estás lista? Vamos. Este libro está en el nivel 1 de lectura. Los libros tienen en la parte de aquí un número que significa el nivel de lectura para beginner readers o advanced. Y este es nivel 1. Hay nivel 4, pero me gusta leer desde My First y 1 y 2 para que puedan ustedes que están empezando al inglés aprenderlo, lo puedan comprender. Fancy Nancy, My Family History. Do you know about your ancestors? They are people in your family who lived a long ago. You say it like this, ancestors. Isn't that a great fancy word? We are writing ancestors reports in class. Bree is writing about her great-grandfather. He's 90. He was a hero. Robert's great-grandmother is 100. She came to America on a ship. It almost sank. You are both lucky. I tell my friends, you know your ancestors? All of mine are deceased. That's fancy for dead. That night my grandpa calls. He is coming to visit soon. His parents are my great-grandparents. So I ask, were they famous? Did they have adventures? Grandpa says no. They were nice, ordinary people. Ordinary? That's like plain. I wish I had fancy ancestors, she said. Later that night, Grandpa sent a photo of my great-grandfather. Grandpa's email says, my dad was kind and honest. He only lost his temper once. I broke a teapot and blamed my sister. My dad wasn't upset about the teapot. He was upset that I lied. Your dad sounds like a very lovely person, I reply. Reply is fancy for answer. I am going to write my report about him. I gather facts from Grandpa. My ancestor had 5 children. He was a bank guard. He liked to fish. He lived to be 74. The next day, I illustrate the cover. Illustrate is fancy for making a picture. Then I start writing my report. It begins, my great grandpa was a bank guard. Hmm, that does not sound exciting. So I add something extra. Once he stopped a bunch of bank robbers. Yes, that sounds very exciting. Next, I write my great grandpa loved to fish. Then I add some more exciting stuff. One time he cuffed a shark. The next day, Clara and Yoko both read their reports. I do not mean to brag, but mine is way more interesting. After school, I tell my parents, on Friday I get to read my report. My dad says, great, Grandpa is coming on Thursday. He can go to school with you. He is so proud that your report is about his dad. I forgot about Grandpa coming. All of a sudden, my tummy feels funny. I don't think he is allowed to come, I say. Hmm. My mom looks at me. Of course he can come. Don't you want him to come? Upstairs, I show mom my report. I want it to be interesting, so I exaggerated. Exaggerate is a fancy word for stretching the truth. Honey, mom says, you did not just exaggerate, you made up stuff. That's lying. I remember the story about the broken teapot. My ancestor will be very upset with me. My grandpa will be too. By the time grandpa comes, I have writing a new report. This time I stick to the plain truth. I write about the teapot. It is an ordinary story, but I really like it. Here is her grandpa coming to her house. On Friday, grandpa comes to school. He has brought his dad's top hat. It's a real one. Not like the not sorry, not like the one in my magic set. My great grandpa loved to get dressed up. I tell everyone I must get being fancy from him. Fancy Nancy's fancy words. These are the fancy words in this book. Ancestors, people in your family who lived long ago. You say it like this: ancestors, deceased, dead, exaggerate, stretch to stretch the truth. Illustrate, make a picture. Ordinary, plain. Reply, answer. The end. Jane O'Connor is the author of more than 30 books for children, including the Nina Ballerina stories illustrated by Diane DeSalvo and the Fancy Nancy picture book series. Miss O'Connor lives with her family in ever posh New York City. Robin Press Glasser has illustrated such bestsellers as Super Completely and Totally the Messiest by Judith Viorst, Daddy's Girl by Garrison Kaler, and the Fancy Nancy picture books. She lives in Southern California with her family, puppy, and tiara collection. The end. Well, I hope you like this book as much as me. I hope we can read another one the next time. You like this book? ¿Te gustó este libro? Espero que sí. Nos vemos en el siguiente libro.